I want to play a game with you. I'm going to toss this coin. If it lands on tails, you have to pay me $100. But if it lands on heads, I will pay you $150. Do you take the bet? If you are like most people, your answer is no. But mathematically, that makes no sense. The potential gain is bigger than the potential loss. So why does your brain scream, "Don't do it"? Because of a psychological glitch called loss aversion. According to Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, the fear of losing $100 is far more intense than the hope of gaining $150. In the human mind, losses loom much larger than gains. And today, I'm going to show you how this glitch is secretly trapping you in bad investments, terrible jobs, and even toxic relationships. Because we hate losing things, our brains do something really weird when we own stuff. It's called the Endowment Effect. Researchers ran a famous experiment where they gave half of the students in a room a simple $6 university coffee mug. The other half of the room got nothing. Then they opened up a marketplace and asked the students with the mugs what price they would sell them for. They asked the students without mugs what price they would pay to buy one. The results were crazy. The buyers were only willing to pay about $2.87. But the sellers? They refused to let their mugs go for less than $7.12. They were looking at the exact same mug, but the sellers valued it more than twice as highly simply because they already owned it. Giving up the mug felt like a painful loss. This is why it's so hard to declutter your closet, or why you refuse to sell a stock that is tanked. Once we own something, our brain artificially inflates its value to protect us from the pain of losing it. But the fear of loss doesn't just affect our stuff. It traps us in our worst life decisions. Imagine two huge sports fans who want to drive 40 miles to see a basketball game. One of them paid top dollar for his ticket, while the other got his ticket for free from a friend. Suddenly, a massive blizzard hits. The roads are dangerous. Who is more likely to risk their life driving through the snowstorm? The guy who paid for his ticket. Why? Because staying home means closing his mental account with a negative balance. He loses the money and the game. The guy with the free ticket feels disappointed, but he doesn't feel the financial loss. This is the sunk cost fallacy. It happens when a company has already spent $50 million on a failing project, and instead of walking away, they throw another $60 million at it just to avoid the humiliation of officially losing the first 50. It's why you sit through a terrible 2-hour movie just because you paid $15 for the ticket. It's what keeps people stuck in unpromising research projects, miserable jobs, and unhappy marriages for years. We refuse to walk away because walking away means admitting a loss. In fact, when we are cornered and all our options are bad, loss aversion actually makes us take insane risks. If I force you to choose between a 100% sure loss of $900 or a 90% chance to lose $1,000 and a 10% chance to lose nothing, what do? Almost everyone takes the massive gamble. The sure loss is so repulsive to our brains that we become willing to accept a high probability of making things worse, just for a tiny sliver of hope to avoid the loss entirely. This is exactly why losing generals fight wars long past the point of certain defeat. So, how do we fix this? How do we stop our brains from sabotaging our success? You have to learn to think like a trader. Experienced traders don't suffer from the endowment effect because they view goods as items for exchange, not for keeping. They broaden their frame. Instead of obsessing over one single loss, they look at their entire portfolio of life choices. To beat loss aversion, you have to adopt a simple mantra for the risks you take. You win a few, you lose a few. Stop looking at every minor setback as a life or death tragedy and start cutting your losses early. If you want to learn more about how your brain tricks you, check out Daniel Kahneman's brilliant book, Thinking Fast and Slow. Have you ever fallen for the sunk cost fallacy? Let me know your story in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.